from. Hey, folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another Classes of Cinematics episode. And I'm joined as always with Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo.
Yeah, Classes of Cinematics is a show where we go back and look at the films that shaped and warped our film-going experiences. And today we're going to be looking at Dead Presidents. What year did this come out?
I want to say 95.
All right, from 1995, directed by the Hughes Brothers. And the story goes as this. Soldier Anthony Curtis returns to his Bronx home after a nightmarish tour of duty in Vietnam, but the nightmare continues for Anthony and his friends as they suffer the indignities of trying to find steady work and provide for their families in a flagging economy. As the desperation takes hold, Anthony teams up with Skip, a drug addict, and Kirby, a small-time crook, to pull off a bank heist that will give them all a chance for a better life. And this is based on the book, loosely based on the book Bloods, on oral history of the Vietnam War. And it's crazy. So I guess the guy in the book, because it's not characters, it's real accounts from, black guys in Vietnam. So Haywood T. Kirkland. And certain characters in the film are based on real life acquaintances of Kirkland who served time in prison after committing robbery in face paint. The film also is loosely based on several incidents involving the Black Liberation Army, notably the Bronx armored truck robbery. So I like when you mix things into the film, real
Absolutely.
life, stuff like that. This cast is stacked too, so let me get through that real quick before we get into it. So our main guy here is Larenze Tate. We've also got Chris Tucker, Keith David, Bokeem Woodbine, Freddie Rodriguez, Rose Jackson, and Bushay Wright, Terrence Howard, and Martin Sheen. It's wild, man. So what stands out to you about this film, man?
I mean, what doesn't? I mean, for starters, the all-star cast is great. I love the soundtrack. I think this is probably my favorite film soundtrack of all time. You know what I'm saying? The music that's playing is just all the way dope. But I want to say what I like most about it is the storytelling. When you watch this film, it's almost like watching a 4-part miniseries. The way they bring you through the transitions of this young man's life. You know what I mean? That just it hits so heavy and it's done so well.
Yeah, it does a good job, man. Like the casting alone is great, man. Like we're getting these guys almost in the prime, Larenze Tate does a great job here. 95, I'm not sure what came first. Was Menace? I think Menace came before this.
I want to say, that might have been like 93, 94.
Yeah, and then to see that happen and to see the same guy go from old dog to this more, more of a real guy, dramatic role. And it's crazy because he carries the weight really well in this film, man. Like we see the joys of these guys as they're, teenagers about to, come out of high school, just, living that life until, going out into Nam and facing the harsh realities of that. But then he's also has a comeback later once he comes home, and he's also carrying the PTSD and the disappointment and the opportunities that weren't offered to him, because that's one of the things. I'm going to the army, I'm gonna have a chance, when I get out, and you get out and no one's hiring you. You know what I'm saying? You carry like he does a really great job of all that. Yeah. And the supporting characters like Chris Tucker, oh my God, dude. I wonder what happened with his acting career, and maybe it's a thing where you come out the gate with such a comical character like Smokey, where you get stuck in that lane. Then you know what I'm saying? Because he carried his dramatic role in this, man. He was funny, but when it got serious, dude, he was one of the most impactful characters in this film for me.
Absolutely. And in the earlier parts of the film, he almost, it's like watching Smokey again. Like his mannerisms, the way he's talking, the jokes and everything. And I thought that was really cool. Another standout character to me was Keith David. I think Kirby did a lot of heavy lifting in this film as well. As Larenze Tate's almost like father figure, mentor. The one he looked up to. Throughout the whole film.
Yeah. He does a great role. It's almost like a like you said, the mentor mentee thing. Especially when in the beginning, right? Actually. You know what? I think that happens a little bit later. We get a glimpse in the beginning too, because he takes him on a little run.
And right out the gate, Anthony Larenze Tate's character is running numbers for Kirby.
Kirby's running like a pool hall and doing all kinds of other stuff. He's basically got his hands in a lot of crimes. That's his whole hustle, man. He's figuring out how to get over. And yeah, and that's cool when they're driving around before he goes to Vietnam. He's like, me and Kirby. They take him on a run. Yeah. And Kirby's like extorting these people for money. He's like, what about money? And pulls his leg off. He's like, everybody knows I got one leg in this town, and this mother grabs the wrong one. Like, it was good moments, but he's great. He's also, what I like about him, he's been around. He's older. He's probably like, maybe late 50s in this. He's seen the world, and so his perspective is like, man, I'm not here for the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, he's still looking for his way out. That last big score, right? Where he can, retire and go on. But I love that transition because, like, several of these characters, we're here through the whole movie, and the thing that gets me about the Chris Tucker, we get the fun-loving kid, boom. Then we get the Vietnam where it's like, it's crazy because as kind of leader of the pack, leader of the crew, loud, outspoken as he is, and before he goes to Nam, you see in Nam that it's messing him up. Mm-hmm. Like he's having a hard time, just staying level. The anxiety is so high, he's staying high all the time. It then transitions to when he gets out, and he's just a full on, heroin addict because the things that he's seen. I love how this film addresses the PTSD, man. I love that so much, man. Like this film, what I really like about it, it does not make war look glorious. You're not going to want to sign up and go to the war for this. And the thing about this, man, this is a bank robbery film. And that Vietnam segment, it goes by in about maybe 20 minutes, but it left such a big impact that weighs over the rest of the film, in my opinion, man.
Yeah, definitely. And you see how it affects Anthony, the character played by Larenze Tate. I mean, before he goes to war, he's just, he's happy. He's content with his life and everything, but looking for more, looking for that, to make that next step.
Yeah.
And you see how the war affects him as well. He goes from just, being, full of joy and like just ready to take that next step in his life to just being ice cold.
Yeah.
Like you really see how it messes him up.
That dinner when he comes home to with his family, and it's just like, oh, like it's just, you could tell he's different. He's definitely different. And like I said, man, his acting, like that, it carries that because like we can see the differences on this dude's face, man. It's an amazing movie, man. And another thing, another performance that stands out too. The side characters, like, so I love also my man, what's his name? Clifton Powell. He has I forgot to mention him in the when I mentioned the cast, and he has a role in this too because, while this guy's been gone to Vietnam, his girlfriend is pregnant when he leaves. And I think he said he did 2 tours, so I don't know, maybe he took a break in the first tour, came home, maybe saw her, and then she got pregnant, and then he comes back because I'm looking at the kid's age and seems like it could be something like that, but he did 2 tours. He did one, which most people do, and they don't come back. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, he went back in there. Maybe the money or whatever, man. But he lucky he made it back. So she's obviously been caring for stuff, but it's obvious that Clifton Powell's character, who's like a pimp, has been helping her out, and
and the way he goes about letting Anthony know that he's been taking care of his woman is so disrespectful. Like, he's just pulling up like, trying to give her money, talking about his kid and everything. Yeah, I came by to see you earlier, but you went home. Like, it's very obvious.
Yeah, it's very blatant. He's antagonizing them. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, make it doing more than he has to.
Yeah. And all of these things just kind of give us a better understanding of what's really fueling Anthony's fire. I mean, he comes home, the Vietnam vets from World War II, they don't get no respect from
that too, man.
From the other vets, because it's like, oh, you shouldn't be fighting this war.
Well, I think it was more to do with the media and what was coming out and the stuff that they were doing as it was coming out. So interesting thing about Vietnam, it was one of the first wars that was getting televised on live TV. In some cases, man, we were getting live feeds of atrocities being committed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And this thing, it's the ugly side of war, man, that people hate when people glorify it. Like even right now, dealing with this Russia-Ukraine situation now, there's a lot of talking and people are like, yeah, man, yeah, go Ukraine. And to me, it's sad that Ukraine has to be even in a position to defend itself from Russia, as real people are getting shot, killed, and bombed and blown up. But that war was putting those images into the living rooms of people in the evening news every day. So the public was starting to develop a distaste for it, seeing their kids, going to get blown up for a war. They really didn't understand why we were even there in the first place, man.
Right. And it's almost like it was being held against them for fighting in this war, where a lot of these young men were getting drafted in. They didn't even have a choice.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So, yeah. And when you hear about things such as the My Lai massacre, which was a real event where a village got leveled, dude, and the reports came out. So next thing you know, these guys are being labeled baby killers and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, stuff did happen, but you're leaving out the element that the government put them in that position to be doing this when it really didn't have to be done. So, I've heard stories of incidents, even Born on the 4th of July, them films where, these guys are coming off the plane from their tours, expected to be welcomed, like the soldiers that said they got protesters waiting for them at the gates, like, you killers, you murderers, and like,
they weren't getting any kind of like government assistance. I mean, they're coming back with lost limbs, diseases, drug addictions, and it's just like they were left to their own devices. Like everyone turned their back on them.
Yeah, they couldn't even get a job. It was looked down in some cases like, we don't want you. You're an old vet, Vietnam vet. Like, we don't want you. Yeah, it's messed up, man. But the characters are so great in this thing. It's just the way that it's set up, man. Like I said, the story arc. You get this youthful, young, coming of age, high school period. Then they're immediately thrown into this just horrible war. And then you come back out in an economic depression, which is having taken its other tolls, man. You know what I'm saying? My man's going to try hard to get a job. Ends up getting a job at like a butcher shop. And it's weird because I love how they play on that PTSD, man. Yeah. He's sleeping. Imagine him, he's in a butcher shop chopping up meat, but then these visions of carnage from the war flashing up. He's waking up with the cold sweats, and it's just it's horrible. Even this woman, and I get her frustrations too, but she's kind of fed up with, she's not really giving them much sympathy. I mean, I understand she's had to do what she had to do for so long by herself. And so maybe she's a little bit more hardened and not as sensitive to these things, because at the time we didn't have that much mental health awareness and, PTSD and all that stuff.
I understand her frustration, but it seems like at times too, she's like smearing it in his face. You got to get a better job, be a real man, get some more money and stuff like that.
But
disrespecting them.
Some of the times, because like I said, at that, like a lot of that stuff was, be a man up. Oh, you having bad dreams? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a little nervous? Like, and I don't think we responded well to those things in society at that time.
Absolutely.
And I think it develops later on to like generational cycles of abuse and trauma, drug addiction, and things that we can get into later, man. But like even look at what's the character's name in here, man? Chris Tucker's character.
Oh, Skippy.
Yeah, even look at Skippy, man. What if Skippy had a program, or the Veterans Affairs VA hospital was better equipped, and he had some counseling and a program to get him off? Maybe his life would have ended up way different, man. So in a way, it's not shoving it in your face, but it's touching on a lot of things, man. That's why this film is so great to me, man. I'm kind of disappointed in the critical reception of it, man.
Yeah.
I think some people glossed over it because so much, there's cliche war stuff, and I'm like, dude, if you look at the overall scope of this film, man, there's so much going on just on a people and dramatic level, man. It's A1, dude.
Because like you said, it's so much more than just about the war. It's how they're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite parts is when Anthony comes back from the war, not after he leaves the parents' dinner, but he goes to Kirby's spot for the first time, and he's feeling cool. He's like, yeah, I'm go see all my folks and everything. And you can tell he's feeling good. Like he walks in there and it almost seems like he's not even taking steps.
Well, I love that shot though. They stole the Spike Lee thing because they put him on like a trolley and they're dragging him through.
It's grooving, man.
That was dope, dude. That was dope. Yeah. I love it, man. But yeah, you're right. And he comes back, and like when he comes back and hits the street, he's so hopeful. But then, a couple weeks in, he can't get no work, and it all starts to hit, yo. And Dude, I even like the revenge scene because that was kind of interesting how certain moments come back full circle. Like before he goes to Nam, he's in the pool hall and he gets into it with Terrence Howard's character. He's like the neighborhood bully, and then it's crazy. He comes back now. Now we're dealing with a guy that's had Marine training. He's killed people, and this same dude is messing with him, talking the same crap. And I forgot what happens, man. He says something, and Anthony loses it, yo. God, they pretty much got to save him from killing.
He broke the pool stick on him, tried to choke him out with it.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Yeah. That was crazy, man. But I don't even think he was totally as mad at this dude. I think the other stuff was starting to settle in, the other frustrations, man. But basically, what ends up happening, he comes home, he's down on his luck, and they decide to Kirby brings the opportunity to him. They decide to pull off this bank robbery. Basically, this bank, they've got a contract with the federal government, so they get the old, worn out Federal Reserve notes, stuff that they feel like maybe it's time to pull this bill out of circulation. Is faded, is ripped, is torn. I mean, it's still useful currency, but it's nothing that a bank would really want to pass out to customers and stuff like that. So eventually, once they get enough of this, they send it out to get incinerated, and their thought is we're going to rob this shipment. We're going to case the joint, and this is kind of cool too because we catch up with other characters, from previous points of the film, like Spanish kid went the war with him, but they didn't serve in the same.
No, it's Freddie Rodriguez, but I can't remember his name in the movie. Yeah,
and we found out he was working demolitions, but they put him out on a discharge because he blew his hand up, and then we catch up with Cleon, and it is so crazy because in the Vietnam segment, he was one of the meanest, nastiest dudes. And we catch up with him. He's a preacher. He done got this bad airline.
And
the funniest, it's so great because when we see him, he's like, I was a sinner. Yeah. I've killed. And the church is like, well, and I'm like, yo, y'all don't even know what this man is really trying to tell you right now.
He ain't talking about how he chopped the head off and kept it in his bag for like a month.
But he didn't give you the details. But he it's one of my favorite moments. Like put it this way, they knew what he was really doing. They would not be in that church. So, they pull the crew together. He puts the idea on them, and that's even interesting too, because I like the planning phase. Because when he starts talking about the people, he's like, man, you remember? I ain't messing with that, man. You know what I'm saying? And also it's funny too because I forgot, skipped over a part. He's linked up with his girl's sister. She's like running with this militant Black Panther like organization, and he talks about bringing her in. And Kirby's like, man, I don't mess with those militant dudes, man. And then it is funny, Joe. Just like he's got to convince Kirby for some of the people, and he vouches for him. And Kirby was right on some of these folks.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man. Like I said, man, this is based on a true story, though. That robbery did go down, so I guess some of the details are a little, funny, and they took liberties with. But one aspect of the book that they did mention was the crazy preacher's son, which I love. Bokeem, man, he plays that so well.
Yeah, he does. And another thing I really like is once we do get into the robbery scene is the look, the face paint that they're wearing and everything. It's such a cool scene because, I mean, even though they planned it out and it felt like they had all their ducks in a row, everything that can go wrong does.
Yeah.
I mean, from the beginning of it all the way to the end of it, you know what I mean? Just not a single thing goes right.
Yeah, it's just one of them things, man. And some of the people are slacking on their position. Some people kind of did too much, like the explosive guy. He blows the whole truck up when he's just supposed to blow the doors up.
Yeah, was happy about it. He was like, yeah, you see that, man?
It's so wild to me. Like, but yeah, it's just one of those moments, man, because I love just how this whole thing plays out, man. Like you said, going back to what you said earlier about the music, it's like so many beats of this thing are just really set so well to the music of the time, and the soundtrack is one of the best ones you can get. I think there's 2 parts to it, and it's basically a lot of Motown hits, just 70s films and stuff like that, man. And it just goes perfect with this. Also, I would say the score, man.
Absolutely.
The main theme from that score, like that, this film does something that not many films do these days. The intro.
Yes.
Where the intro is, you get the credits first. You know what I'm saying? Then the movie starts. Nowadays, but the way that's coming in, you see the money burning, and then that I forgot the thing that how it goes, but it's so haunting. I think they played in the Vietnam scene a couple times, and even when they finally get to the final heist, they play it there. But it goes so well with it, man.
And they give you like from beginning to end. It almost plays for like 5 minutes of the the first 5 minutes of the film, and like you said, with the money burning and everything, it really just sets the tone.
Yeah, man, I love this film, man. It's one of them ones that Saturday afternoon or Sunday just to, watch it play out, man. And it, like I said, it covers so many bases, man. Like but yeah, so the robbery, it just goes bad, man. The timing is messed up. I think the main thing that I think is when Bokeem's guy talks to that the cop a little too long, dude, and then Tucker has to come in and he lays the cop down, dude.
Yep.
And then it's just chaos from there, man.
Just straight mayhem.
Yeah, the armored truck dudes, they see, the truck driver sees, he alerts the guys that it's an ambush, and then things just go bad. People get shot, man. And then it's just chaos, man, and desperation. But I think what gets me too is the ending, man. He gets captured. Some of them didn't make it. Some of them were killed in the street. Several of them, I think.
It was Freddie Rodriguez's character, and then Juanita's sister. What was her name? Was it Wanda?
Yeah. Juanita.
Yeah, her sister. They both died during the heist, but then, for all intents and purposes, the rest of them get away. What sells them short is Cleon goes back to the church, and they say he starts giving out $100 bills, saying God gave him money to give to everyone.
Yeah, and that's where it totally goes wrong, man. Like they could have been all right because they got away. A lot of the money got blown up, but they still had enough for everybody to get away and start over and have a chance. But then, like you said, he gives everybody up. They track him down, and you see them getting taken down one by one. But the wildest part, man, is the court scene at the end where they're sentencing Anthony, and it's so ironic, full circle moment, because we get Martin Sheen, who was in Apocalypse Now, and I think that's a cool full circle moment that he's the judge here presiding, and this film has a significant Vietnam portion. I thought that was a cool touch, and he's basically you would think that basically he's like, yeah, I fought for my country, I did this 2 terms, and then Larenze Tate's eyes, Anthony, he's thinking that should give me some kind of sympathy. But then Martin's like, you wasn't no type of soldier I was. I fought in the real war.
Yeah. He's not going to let you use this war as an excuse. Yeah. And then tells him he's an embarrassment for even...
You should have been better than that. You should have, it's so sad, man. But it's also a testament to even further, even though he did do this crime, it's still a further testament to how, a lot of these guys put their lives on the line, even still now. And when things go bad or whatever, they're just stuck. No respect, from the government, you know what I'm saying? They put them out there in the first place. No love, and it's terrible, man. But I love this film, dude.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, the rewatchability is so heavy with this film. I mean, I could watch it at any time. It's so entertaining. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this is probably my favorite Hughes Brothers film.
Yeah, I think so, dude. I think so too, man.
My favorite.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about the rest of their filmography, man.
I know they did From Hell too, which was
the
Johnny Depp, Jack the Ripper situation.
Yeah, and they did was Denzel being blind? That joint.
Oh, Book of Eli.
Book of Eli. Yeah, their output is kind of low though. For as long as they've been around, in my opinion, I wish they would do more films.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so because I think they're they might do a lot of producing and stuff now. Let's see. Yeah. Boom. Get this filmography. Menace to Society. Then this was their second film, Dead Presidents, American Pimp documentary, From Hell, and the Book of Eli. That's it, dude. That's all. And they've done some solo film work. Guess Alan Hughes directed Knights of the South Bronx, New York, I Love You, Broken City, and the Defiant Ones documentary series. That's the one about Death Row.
Oh, okay.
And Albert Hughes directed The Good Lord Bird. Which one? Oh yeah, that was a TV series. That was good with Ethan Hawke.
I haven't seen
And I think they got a Emmy nominations for that.
Oh,
That was that was a good series, man. It was about John Brown, the I guess he was like an abolitionist back in the day, and he went on this crazy crusade trying to free the slaves as a one-man army, and pretty much he got stopped though. He was about to rob this government, the state armory. So basically, he's going to get, because I think he had a crew of runaway slaves with him and just some other volunteers, and they were trying to get the arms so they would have more guns to be able to, fight for his uprising. But I think it got stopped there. He got gunned down, as well as, like, I think a couple of his sons.
Oh man.
It was crazy, but it was a wild thing. But it was a good series, man. But yeah, I guess in conclusion, man, check this movie out, man. It's definitely one of the best around. Like I count this more as even though it's not fully in Vietnam, this counts as a Vietnam film for me, man. Like, just because of the significant role that whole encounter looms and over this film, man. It definitely has a really big impact, man. And I love the fact that it's such a slice of life that was going on at this time period, man. There's so many levels of detail in this film, man. It's great.
Absolutely. Like you said, this film, it's heavily layered. It's so much more than just a war film or a caper film. It covers all its bases and does it well. And the cool thing about it too is, for anyone who don't have it on physical media, it's free on Tubi right now. Yeah,
you can watch it free. It's got a couple commercial breaks and all that, but it's unedited, man. So you get everything. And the soundtrack, man, you can pull that up on your Spotify. I got that on my phone permanently, man. Just one of those things come on. It's just so much greatness and great music and great cues, man.
Yeah, I got them on CD, man. I cruise to that.
Yeah. And this is one, it does have a tragic ending, man. That's probably the only downer about it. But for the most part, as you're watching this, man, you're rooting for Anthony, man. You're pushing for him. You're hoping the best, happens to him and his crew. But it's a great film, man. It's definitely one of the better films that come out in the 90s, man.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, I think that's it, man. I don't know what we're going to get next week, man. I guess it'll be my pick, but I got some time to figure it out, man. But we'll catch up with you folks next time on Classics of Cinematics. This has been Monk. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
It's Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me at Bobby Blockbuster 118 on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what's up, folks, man. Peace. Yeah.